take the root element like employee.
So we have this execute request wrapper. Delete this wrapper, you can have it. And then we have a stage right. We have a request wrapper. Okay. You can see this and click OK. It should be valid. No, it's not valid. Why? Append is not allowed for non-repeating element. Okay. So let's put it on a repeating element then. We'll do one thing. Repeating element. Then we have stage right. Repeating element. Okay. Now click into mark. Still it's complaining. Why? Why anonymous? It's not anonymous, boss. There's a variables. Compatible. Okay, let's do one thing. It is not supporting somehow. So we can do one more thing. In stage right, we can keep on appending it. That is another option we have. Append the existing file. Okay, we'll use the same thing. Okay, so we can do one more thing here. Delete this. We'll create a new employee local variable. Okay, now here we have stage right. We can use that. That should not be a problem. Okay. After stage right, where is that? After stage right, we'll change our variable here. We have something called global variable. Let's see how it works out. Right, ideally. And then we have something called, we'll use assign here. Then we have employee right details. Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, it is working. So whatever the data it is appending, it's keep on adding here. Okay, so after data has been appended here, it will be keep on writing here. That way we can do that. So that is one way. The data, whatever the data that we are getting, we are splitting it and we are appending it by using a stage right. That is one way. The other way would be, we can use append. No, it's not accepting. Append part is not accepting. Why this guy is not accepting non-repeating elements? Okay, so I'll give you a repeating element. Don't worry. This is not repeating. This is not repeating. This guy is repeating. So I'll give this guy. This is the repeating element. Same thing. Let me give it repeating element here. Okay, stage right. Yeah, now it's gone. It's working. So we can remove this. I'll remove this guy. That should be fine. Perfect. It worked. So we can assign the data as well as a temporary variable. And if we want to have this data visible across a complete integration, we can use this temporary variables. So we have created this. Okay, we are in this case, we are appending it. Now let me test it. Okay. I will test from here. 1. Okay. And okay. Would be 1, make it as 2, 3. Four. Okay. Unique data, I'm just trying to put it so that you'll understand the data, how exactly get a data stitch. So that was the reason. And Vijaya. And we have last is Suma. Okay. Now let me test it.
Our extra commas have been mentioned in the fourth for the fourth value and the sixth year in the circle.
Okay, thanks, Prithvi. Okay, perfect. Let me go to the next line. Next line. Perfect, 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 perfect. Okay. So we have 6. 680. Now let me test it. Okay, iteration. You can see 6 iterations. Okay, now let's see the last value. 1 Pawan Hyderabad, 2 Lakshman Hyderabad, 3 Prithvi Hyderabad, 4 Vijay Hyderabad. For each iteration, you can see the different data. It's keep on appending the data, but when you see stage right, the data would be different. Only one element details you can see it. One moment. Hello. So this is how the data stitch works. Okay, if we want to stitch the data, if we want to have a temporary variables, if we want to have a variables that can be accessible not only in the main process, also in the exception handling, we can use that. Okay, so let me show you that. Okay, so let me come here. Let's come here and let's see the variables. So we have a couple of variables. Okay, in couple of variables, you put assign activity here. One to check the data. Okay, you put some global variables or something. Now try to check the data variables. Okay, we get a request element. Also, we can also get a temporary variable, the data that we got. But other variables, it is not visible because I've created a global variable. So when we go with combination of global variable and data stitch, then we can see the variables data. Okay, it is accessible across the complete integration. There are few variables when you invoke any service, that data is not visible. If you want to have those data accessible, even at the global error handling, or if you are running specific loop and that data has to be visible to the external world in the sense outside of loop or outside of scope, then we can use global variable and data stitch. Simply assign the data. That's it. That's also a problem for you. But when you use data stitch with append in the sense keep on adding, then we can use, we have to have both our repeating nodes only. Clear, guys? Any questions? Lakshman, Prithvi, Pavan, Vijaya, Sumant. Any questions? Am I audible, guys?
Yeah, no problem.
Clear? Any questions?
Clear.
Okay. So this is with respect to the data stitch. Okay. So data stitch is done. Our example. Data stitch is done. Okay. Notification. Notification. Now we'll see an example of notification. Okay, on the same example, let's take an example of notification. So let me show you example of sending an email notification. Okay, this is my email ID. Okay, so I'm not last month I got an update. From there, I did not receive anything. Okay, I need updates from you guys. Of email ID. Okay, so we got this email ID. Now let's get back to our OIC. After the integration has been completed. Okay, after the integration has been completed, you want to send a email notification as completed. Not for, we can send for each or we can send for all. All would be, we can send an attachment. So that was the reason I'm just taking at the end. Okay, you take a notification. Send email. No reply @oracle.com. Okay. There is a standard mail where you cannot reply it. Email.
No hyphen reply.
Sorry.
No hyphen reply @oracle.com.
Okay. No reply will not work.
No hyphen reply.
Okay. Let's give it a try then. No problem. Okay. File lit and stitch completed. Here user file split and stitch of the employee details completed. Regards or admin. Okay, after that we have an attachment. When you go with the attachment, we have to give something called, you can see, when we came out of the loop, we cannot see what we cannot see. When you are writing a file, that file is not visible. The global variable is not visible. Hope you can understand what I exactly meant. Okay. So when we data stitch, we cannot see the data here. Okay, so what we can do it? So other way we can do is, okay, so simply we'll, in this case, we'll not send any email. Sorry, we'll send an email, but not attachment. Attachment, we'll see another example. Okay, we are sending an email, simply email, completed. Okay, if we want, we can put integration name. Okay, we'll take runtime. Okay, instance ID and integration name, instance ID. That's it. We'll take these two. So to have those value runtime, click on here. You have something called integration name, which we can get it here. I did not create a variable. That's the reason I'm taking from here. Else we have to ideally take from there. Creating a first global variables. Instance ID. Instance ID at runtime we'll get it. Okay. Done. We trigger it and we'll see we should receive an email. Because internally it has an email server within OIC. So that will take care of that. Test. I'll pass the same thing. 6 citation, email sent, successful. So now let me check it. See, I received an email. Dear user, file split completed. Please, oh. Why did it come?
You have not mentioned the,
Got it,
you have not given the variables.
Got my point. Yeah, I did not use that variables, though I've created it. So that was a problem. Good catch, Prithvi. Okay, so when you are using these variables, we should not use dollar variable. We have to use between this. Flower braces, use this variable. Oh shit. Okay. Now we will be receiving a new email with integration name as well as instance ID. Six iterations. I need to get 21st mail. Refresh this. Yeah, we got a new mail just now. You can see data stage is integration name and instance ID. Clear, guys? Okay, this is done. Now let's see. We'll use a data stitch on a different way. We have used data stitch by using appending. Now let's see assigning part. Okay. Now here we'll see appending the data for each loop. Append the existing file. What are the data that we are getting? Done. Okay. Post which I'll not use this data stage for this information. I'll use the data stage to get the file information at runtime. In the sense, temp stage right global variable. Okay, here I can use after writing, I'll get this response. In response, I'll have a file reference. So this is where I'll be using it. Okay. Now I'll use a data stitch. Stage write file response stitch. Okay. I will take temp variable, that is global variable. I'm taking assign. I'll take write response. Okay. Now let me close this. This is done. Okay. Now let's close this guy. No. We have to send an email with attachment. With attachment. So if you want to send with attachment, we have to select this attachment. Then we have file reference at runtime and we can use it. These are a bit advanced topics, but these are required. So if you learn properly, then you are equivalent to 2+ or 3+ years experience. But it's on depends on you, how you grab the topics. Okay. Now it will be the same thing. I'm not appending the data by using a data stitch. Instead, I'm using a stage right where I'm appending the data. Later, I am using assign activity so that assign activity using a data stitch to extract the data of the file reference so that I can get that file reference and I can send an email. You can see I got a email attachment details. See. We got the details. Clear? Guys, am I clear?
Yes, Pawan.
Lakshman, any questions? Any topics you would like to add? Lakshman, you there? Seems you're on
Yes,
mute.
yes, Pawan.
Okay. Do you would like to add anything?
No, Pawan.
Okay. No problem. So this is how, guys. So we have seen multiple examples, that is data, stitch. We have seen data stitch by using assign, data stitch by using append. Then we have data stitch. No, data. Okay. So then we have seen stage right, append, notification with attachment. Okay. So we have seen 5 different examples. Okay, 5 different examples. Try with SOAP-based API. Okay. REST-based API. And also with schedule-based. Schedule-based is up to you, how you want to handle the data. You can only try to stitch data. You cannot send multiple data. Okay, so that's a challenge we have when we go with the schedule-based. You can hardcode the data and you can, okay, splitting part, just remove this. That's fine. No problem. We can try with only these 2. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, if we have to send any attachment, then we have to use data stitch with assign. And if you will use append, then we cannot send this attachment.
Can you come again?
Can you just clear once again difference between data stitch, assign, and append?
Okay, I'll explain in 1 moment. Then we have order, customer, patient, and then we have book. Okay, 6 into 2, 12, 12 into 5, 60 examples. Okay, so try to complete today and tomorrow. Clear, guys? Any questions? Okay, so when you go with append in the sense, you can append the data when you run the loop by 2 ways, by using stage right append or data stitch append. There are 2 options where you can append the data. If you're getting a multiple data and you are running a loop, and if you want to append the data in the sense you are merging the data or you are stitching the data in 2 ways. One is stage right and other is data stitch by using a append operation. So difference between append and assign would be what would be the latest value that will be available. It will not append the data. The last executed value, whatever we have it will give you that data. If you want to send an attachment after looping it, so append, data stitch append will not work because we're not having a response as an attachment or response as a file reference. So that's the reason I've created a stage right append in which the response of this, we have a file information with file reference. So for that, I have created a assign. And then I got that file reference of the last executed, and then I have sent an email notification. But when you go with this, it will now does the same. Clear? Any questions?
Cleared.
Sumant, am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, so these are the examples that we have. So 60 examples, try to complete by end of tomorrow. And I'll keep on adding these examples in our, the same examples what we have done, in a use case wise, we will be doing it. Okay, that's what I want to show you guys. Okay, so I'm just preparing the use cases for you. So probably it comes around 150 odd examples into 3 you can think of, whichever we can schedule it, whichever we cannot schedule it. You have to use a brain. Going forward, 3 months of training is done. So now you start thinking as a developer, start thinking as a professional. So no more doing hallabazi there. Okay. So at most diligence, at most authentication, at most sincerity is checked going forward for next 1 month. Based on that, the task will be assigned. Am I clear? No sound. What happened?
Yes, Pawan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I understand you have other engagements or other responsibility also. Just try to spend some time here as well and try to complete. And we will have a daily sessions. We know no more alternate sessions, because alternate sessions for 1 week I've seen people are not joining. So no more. So no more excuses. If people are not joining, have to be very strict going forward. So every day we'll have this. Okay. Hope you are maintaining the notes that we're discussing, running notes, so that will be useful for your interview. So we will be having a mock interview sessions as well. Unless you clear mock interviews, you will not be sent to the projects. You will be working in a projects, but you have to clear the interviews. Mock. I will be taking. Lakshman will be taking, and some other person will be taking. So we'll be having a mock interviews, proper mock interviews. Just be careful and prepare diligently. No more wasting the time going forward. Hope I make sense.
Yes, Pawan.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. I'll upload both the videos and previous videos. Try to complete it, all the examples. Clear? Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.